All right, y'all. As you come on in, let me know if you can hear me. I don't have my tripod because we are out here on a lunch break real quick, but I just wanted to give a little update. So we are just through hearing the kids speak. So all of the kids went up to the podium. They addressed the judge, Justin Combs. Actually was second to go. First was the one that is not Diddy's son, which is what is his name? The one that's Albie Sure Child. Y'all know what I'm talking about. So, oh yeah, Quincy Brain. He went first, and he was like, no matter what, Sean Combs is my father. He's a changed man. He's learned a major lesson. He's evolved over the 15 years, and he really just, begged the judge to have mercy on him. Next up was Justin Combs, firstborn son. He says, I'm the firstborn son of Sean Combs. He asked for a second chance for him to be the man that he truly is. He's seen him in his toughest times. He's his superhero. And Justin just really pleaded for the court to give him mercy. Christian was the third son. He spoke, and he spoke about how he most resembles his dad. And he definitely does. He looks like Diddy, moves like Diddy, talks like Diddy. Like, that is his twin. He talked about how Diddy always treated him to taught him to treat women with respect, and that basically, his dad, he can see a change in him as well. The girls spoke; they were so sweet. They all were crying the entire time they were trying to speak. Chance, the oldest daughter, she went first. She spoke, talked about the huge emptiness in their lives. Talked about, you know, instead of making excuses that their dad wants to do different, sees how he parents his the 2 year old, and they see a difference in him through the parenting of the 2 year old. So that was really cool. And I do not have my tripod, so I can't see. Let me pull it up to feed just to make sure that you all are able to hear me well on this break. The biggest thing that I took away from this, though, is why I feel like things may not go as people think about him just getting out, is just because it is the judge decided to level him, and we in New York City, so people are honking as if they can make people move with the honks of their horns. So I apologize for all of that noise in the background. I don't have any control of that. But anywho, the judge decided to level Diddy at a level 27. I think that is going to be the most telling thing in what the sentence ends up being, is the fact that the leveling is 27. So he did agree with the government in them saying that to group the prostitutes as victims. So instead of the two, Cassie and Jane, he has 8 victims, and that being the 6 escorts as well as Cassie and Jane. So that was something different and something very. I need to make sure. And y'all, I can't see any of these comments, so okay. Sorry guys, I'm back. We struggle streaming out here on this side of the road trying to get y'all the updates. All right, so 27 is the leveling that he set. So that's really going to give the guidelines. They talked about this pre-sentencing report. The pre-sentencing report was filed under seal, so we weren't able to hear any of that until today. So the pre-sentencing report recommends 60 months, which is 5 years. The judge has adopted that. Doesn't mean that that's what the judge is going to do, but he has adopted that pre-sentencing hearing. He went over the different things and the different aggravations that he was going to add. Combs asked for a reduction in the guidelines because he has been remorseful and accepted responsibility. And the judge is like, no, you haven't. You absolutely have not. Just because you do it in letters now, right before sentencing, does not mean you've accepted or acted with remorse. So you actually went to trial and you actually argued about the factual basis of your case. And actually, y'all remember the motion he had last week? He was still up here trying to convince us that it wasn't prostitution. So he's like, you're not remorseful. You're not getting credit for that. It did not apply the aggravation for Cassie being a vulnerable victim, nor did he apply the aggravation for the um, the factors. But he says even if he didn't, the sentence would still be the same. So that's kind of weird. And that's when he hit us with the I'm going to be at a level 27, y'all. So I don't know. My prediction is still I got 5 on it. The kids were very touching. The 11-minute, 30-second video that he played that they did. It was nice. And if you can go to my channel and look at that, I posted that earlier. That was played just now. So when the lunch break, coming up next, we got Brian Steele. Oh my God. So after, when Diddy's team started speaking, the first attorney to speak, I can't remember his name, but he was just talking about the sentence disparities that would happen if the judge went what the government's asking, which is 135 months. Miss Westmoreland spoke second. Y'all, she started crying. When I tell you Nicole Westmoreland was boo-hooing while she was talking to the judge. Like, she was overfilled with emotion. She talked about how Diddy had changed her life, how she met him at a conference. Well, not met him, but she saw him speak at a conference 8 years ago, and he said some words that really touched her. Like, don't stop dreaming. Always keep dreaming, but wake up. Remember to wake up and actually make the goals that you're dreaming about happen. She broke down terribly during her speaking. A little bit. It kind of was like, I don't know, y'all. It kind of felt, I don't know. I'm not saying it wasn't sincere, but towards the end, it kind of felt performative just a little because, this man is fighting for his life. I don't know. But that was it. So Brian Steele is up next after the break. And then I think, they're asking if the Reverend wrote the letter that I spoke about on my live last night and the person from the reentry program can speak. Now, I will tell you, and I pointed it out last night on my show, when Diddy is supposed to have this class that's supposed to start on Tuesday at 7 at this reentry program that he talks about help, working with, the government was like, how dare he? How unhumbling is it? Like, how disrespectful is this to tell us that you got something to do on Tuesday at 7 p.m., that you already are hiring yourself out to go teach classes as if your ass is not facing this serious case and this serious sentencing today. So the government was not happy about it. Mia also is somebody that they were fighting over allowing to speak as a victim. Here, she wasn't a named victim, right? She wasn't Cassie or Jane, but she was somebody, an employee that talked about how he victimized her as the boss and all this stuff, right, during the trial. Well, the judge said she could speak, but the way Diddy's team talked about her in their letter, she's afraid to speak, so she's not speaking. She submitted a letter, but the government really, really talked about that, and that goes into that whole coercion and force and the fraud, and the judge did accept the government's argument to raise his leveling due to coercion and fraud, even though he wasn't found guilty of the RICO. So he is taking that in consideration. He's taking everything that he's heard about him into consideration. I will say that he was appreciative of the kids speaking and telling them how hard it was for them because they were emotional. All the girls cried, and I think a couple of the sons got emotional. I mean, it's their dad, and they're begging a judge to send him home. So they were very emotional. So the judge talked about how he was thankful that they gave him that they shared that with them and that they submitted the letters. So everything prior to the family speaking and everything else, the judge is giving us a really hard line. Like, he's explaining why the sentence is going to be what it's going to be. He's going through breaking down all the reasons he didn't apply this, he didn't give credit to this, and he's telling us, just explaining things. So it really feels like he's explaining why he's about to give Diddy some time. I don't know. My prediction is still the 5 years. Government asking for 11. The sentencing guidelines range puts him the level 27, because okay, remember we talked about with the federal sentencing, it's a level, and that level gives guidelines. So the level 27 has, y'all have taken so many notes. When I tell you my fingers are about to fall off, we gonna have some fun on live later because I'm taking good notes. I want to go back to how much time. I think it was like 60 to 72 months is where the guideline falls that he put him at. But the government is asking for this 135, and the judge, he can do something less. So Diddy's attorneys are very thorough. It's got to be a couple M's on this legal defense team because they're very thorough. So they have gone through and pulled every case that is 900 and something cases, I think 38 cases, where the court has dealt with the Mann Act, the federal court. And so they pulled every case, and they have all these numbers broken down. So people who with Diddy's never had a criminal history, and the type of case that he has, that the people are looking around like 14 months to 20 something months. And so, I mean, how can the judge then sentence Diddy to such high numbers if that hasn't been the case all along? So they're pointing out like, hey, judge, you can't have sentence disparities here. So while pre-sentencing report says 5 years and the government's asking for 11, you can't do really more than what we're asking for, or it's going to be a disparity based on the other Mann Act's convictions. But I don't know if the judge is buying that. He really, the fact that he added the elevation to the leveling to account for coercion and force when Diddy was not found guilty of RICO and stuff, I think speaks to where he's going to be sentencing him. So I'm going to get ready to run back inside. We're going to start back up at 210. I think there's Ryan still, if he's going to hear from the Reverend and the re-entry program person, 3 people left. And then I think we'll have, I definitely think we'll have a decision. It's too much emotion and everyone's heart is like pounding, the kids, the family and everything. So he's not going to leave them hanging. We're going to have a sentence today. So just stay tuned. Keep your notifications on. We go back in at 2. I really think we'll probably be back out somewhere around like 4:35. So just tune in then, and then tune in tonight, and just tune in all week, right? Because I got so many notes that we're going to go over everything. And if y'all looking for the 613 hair, it's all up in this courtroom, baby, because Janice got her platinum hair in, Misa got her platinum hair in, and somebody else got some platinum hair. I'm like, Lord, jeez. It's in the courtroom if you're looking for it. All the guys came in with a little girlfriend, so it was some issues about the family seating at first because they only allotted them 3 rows, and it was too many people. So it was some issues with moving everybody around. It was interesting in the courtroom this morning, I will say. But all right, y'all know I'm in here. I'm getting all the tea. I'm gonna come back once we're done and let you know what it's gonna be. Fit is still at a prediction of I got 5 on it, and we'll just see what the judge does. All right, I'll see y'all later. See you in court.